Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Adventures Travel Club television show. Betty and I are going to show you pictures today in glorious black and white. That's simply because our camera, when we took it to Costa Rica, decided it wasn't going to show you all of these pretty beautiful colors, but it was going to go black and white. We decided to show it anyway because we'll let you use your imagination a little bit. And I now sort of wish I would have thrown the camera in the river. Maybe it would have worked better. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, but then you'd have been without anything. So this is certainly
Yeah, then it would have
better.
been it would have been a vacation for me, though, huh?
Oh.
Instead of work.
No, that's what you were sent for. You were supposed to do this and let people enjoy it.
Well, I'll
It's okay.
no, well, it's not. It's because this is some of the most beautiful country I've ever seen in my life. I think that Costa Rica just has so much to offer. And if you're an armchair traveler like some of our folks are, watching this, they're going to go, "Wait a minute, you cheated me.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I don't have any color on this." Well, we're going by right now. You'll notice that there's coffee plants in there. There's a coffee, of course, does grow in Costa Rica, and they harvest a lot of beans. And a couple of places we saw they were actually doing that when we went by there. But we are on our way actually from the capital, San Jose, and Betty and I are going to join a group, and we're going to go on a white water rafting trip.
Wow. That's a trip I'll remember the rest of my life.
It is great. It's a 15-mile
There
journey.
we go.
And it's divided into 2 days. And the first day we go down about 5 miles, and then we get to the place where we camp out. And I say camp out. They had places for us, which you'll see. It was really beautiful. Anyway, we're getting all of our instructions now and getting ready to get into the rafts, and you can see. I wish you could see the color.
Yeah,
I mean, it
and
is
the
so
color,
beautiful.
The water,
it's so beautiful.
everything was very, very beautiful.
And the weather was nice and warm, so in case you fell overboard, well, it wouldn't be too bad. Anyway, you can see we joined this group, and there were just some really wonderful folks there. So anyway, we're down the river, and now we've stopped. Yeah.
Oh, there's your campgrounds.
There's your campgrounds. Yeah. This was so interesting because this is the up above is the lounge, which we want to say, and then down below is the place where we're going to eat, where they do the cooking and the serving. And I have to say, I mean, here we're way out in the middle of the jungle, and they had folded
Wonderful,
napkins
yes.
and candlelight, and before that, I was so tired, because you actually work on those rafts, don't you, Betty?
Oh, tell me about it. Oh, man.
You really work. Well, anyway, I had to take a nap about this time, and I found out, oh, I shouldn't have done that because they had hors d'oeuvres and cocktails that they were serving up there on the upper level. But
I was there.
Were you there?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, the kids had a ball too. They really enjoyed it. And they were very nice students that joined us.
Yeah, they were exchange students
Yes,
from the United States that were studying Spanish in Costa Rica and also the customs and the history of Costa Rica. And they really were a great group of kids. I'll tell you, they were fun to be with.
Too. Very helpful. On my raft particularly, they were so nice to me because I was so inexperienced, and I had a heck of a time with it. I got thrown out.
I remember.
And almost drowned.
Look, I can see what you look like there.
That's what I am. That's just after I got out of the water. Went back and showered, but I got caught under the raft and I couldn't get out, and I knew I was going to die, and I kept saying, I'm too young to die. Oh, it was an experience that'll stay with me forever.
Actually, the thing is that you wear a life vest and you got a crash helmet too. And we took all sorts of instructions on what happens if you do go overboard. So it's, Anyway, let's take a look at this. Shall we, Betty?
Yeah.
You know what they do? The male bird, when he does this, the female falls in love with the male, depending on the size of the nest.
Oh, really?
Huh.
So the male tries to impress the female.
Well, I'd never seen birds' nests like this before. That was unusual.
I don't know what kind of birds they were. I don't think
Costa Rican birds.
Oh, come on. You're so smart.
Anyway, and you can see we were supposed to put our paddles over here, and everything was very well organized. And your life vests, of course, because we're up from the river just a little bit. And this lodge is really is located in a beautiful area. Oh, it's absolutely incredible.
Well, it's so surprising to find something like this,
Yeah.
just out practically wilderness.
Well, it's on a former Indian territory there. Well, let's go inside, and Manfred is our leader over there, and you can see he's the guy with the shirt off. Let's listen to him.
Would you like to try the national liquor?
I would love it. Anything
Okay,
strong.
let me give you one.
Anything that'll
Absolute.
knock me for a loop. Something strong.
El vasito de chiquispum.
¿Algo más preparado qué?
La señora apenas la rescaté me dice, no, estoy bien, lo único que necesito es un trago.
Un chiquispum.
Fuerte. ¿En serio, man?
Aquí está, aquí. La tenemos Toña. Toña la negra.
This is guaro, it's not very heavy, it's a sugar cane drink. It's not rum, it's just a clear liquor.
Well, I never did try this, but Betty, it looks like you're going to get a try this. Now you got a little shot of whatever that is.
That's their local stuff. But I want to tell you, look at, I'm still wet. I had a terrible experience. It was worth it. I needed it.
No, different. Say the words and do it like me. Arriba,
Arriba,
abajo,
abajo,
al centro,
al centro,
adentro.
adentro. Eso. Hey. Oh, that's good. It burns me all the way down.
Yeah.
Well, that did warm me up, Betty. I guess that was great. You know, this was just the first leg of the trip. I mean, this was 5 miles. This is 15 miles in all. And so the first day we did about 5 miles, and then we're here at the Picara Lodge. And then the next day we got back in the rafts, and that was our big day. We have to explain. These were stage 3 and 4 rapids, and folks, that's tough stuff.
They're hard.
Yeah.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
you worked. You really worked because you're not just sitting in the boat. You've got a paddle, and you have a captain in the back who's trying to guide, going in and out of the rocks and all that sort of stuff. It was, to me, it was a thrill of a lifetime.
You know, ours fell out. Our guide.
Well, your guide.
No wonder I fell overboard. But you have to sit up on the ledge, and
Yeah,
when
you're up on the side of the raft.
Then when you
right.
get down into the hole, you have to pedal like crazy. You can't just hang on. I mean,
Right.
it
Right.
was something else.
Well, our captain, you saw there, was a woman, Gabby, and boy, she knew exactly what she was doing.
excellent,
Yeah,
wasn't she?
and we had well, I think they all had good crews. It was just great. This was one of the best times I think I've ever had in my life. I've heard people say that before. You've got to go whitewater rafting. You have to go whitewater rafting. I thought, yeah, sure, okay. Well, I'll tell you, we did it, and we did it, I mean, as beginners, but we did it on some really tough stuff.
Sure. Go on back up to Sacramento and do the American River.
That's too cold. I will go back down to Costa Rica and do it in the warm water.
Oh, come on.
But anyway, that was an experience I think that I will never forget, and I'd like to repeat again because
I'll never
it
forget it either.
yeah. Well, I know you did fall out. Well, people do that, they fall out. But actually, you're in pretty good hands because they know what they're doing, and they know how to retrieve you, and listen, while we were there that first evening, some of them said, hey, let's go on up, there's a little waterfall right here just by the lodge. So we were kind of climbing over the rocks to get there. And again, we apologize for these pictures being in black and white. It's not your television set. It was my camcorder, and it also did a lot of strange things on this particular trip. So
But we have a new one now.
yeah, and a much better one, and hopefully when we go back again, we'll be able to show you some really beautiful pictures because this is so lush, so green, and so beautiful. It is just like paradise. It really is. It's just incredible.
I guess you liked it.
Yeah, I sure did. And the next day, we went further down the river, and we went way back up to a waterfall, which actually has a water slide. I mean, you can. The kids
down
were
it, huh?
coming off the
Do you
thing.
realize they give you boots? I mean, we know that, but they do provide the boots like
Yeah.
those for you, and they have them in all sizes, and
Right.
you just help yourself.
That's right, and they had everything provided for us. These kids had a ball. Well, we really had an adventure, I'll tell you, with that. The Picara River is one of Costa Rica's most beautiful rivers, and again, I just wish that we had it in color. I was going to say the next day when we continued down 10 more miles of the river, we went to another waterfall that you really had to hike up to, and thank goodness those kids were there because they had to push and shove and get me up there, I'll tell you. Again, we could not take the camera on the water, although now I kind of wish that I have
We
had.
should have, and you could have lost it.
Right. And anyway, after it's all over with, it was 2 days of absolute heaven. And here we are resting and changing our clothes. And there's some showers back here, and everybody's having a little refreshment as we got all of the rafts loaded on top of trailers. And
Well,
so
they
we were
work
resting a
those
bit.
kids, don't they?
Oh, wow. I mean, you know, these kids, the kids, I say kids because they're all younger
Yeah.
than you and I, that are our guides, they do. I mean, they do everything. Besides being our guides and getting everything in the water and giving us our safety instructions, and which they did a lot of, they also did the cooking, and the meals were out of this world. I mean, we had beautiful, beautiful food.
So well presented. That's the thing that
Yes.
surprised
Yes,
me.
they're way out there in the jungle, and here you're dining at gourmet. I mean, it was just really great. This guy was having a little trouble, however,
Well,
about
he had
this
a
time.
load, didn't he? Huh?
Yeah, he was there for about I'd say about 45 minutes trying to get out of this little hole that he dug for himself. However, he did get out of there, and this was the only place, I have to tell you, that we were able to buy T-shirts. You usually go to places everywhere there's T-shirts for sale, but this on the river was about the only place where we finally wound up there that
Wait
that we
a
could get
minute. We
What?
did buy one at the hotel, remember?
No. I mean as far as the rafting was
yes,
concerned,
yes.
yeah. Anyway, I strongly recommend this for any of you that want to really take an adventure and are young at heart and can think that you can do this, because it really, really was a lot of fun.
All you have to do right is be young in heart.
Yeah, and you're going to get a workout with your muscles, because this is not one of those that that you just sit there and like some of those rafting things, you just sit there and everybody does the rest of the work. You are actually working.
This is Gina that went with us. She's from New York, and she writes for the different travel magazines. And she wasn't going to buy a T-shirt, and I said, "Buy it! You earned it."
And she sure
and
did.
So
we
she
all
did. Yes.
That's right. I'm glad that we all did that. It was fun. Where did you do it first?
Yosemite and the Tuolumne. And then Oregon on the Deschutes.
Where is that?
In Oregon. Oh, one of the kids will know. Where's the Deschutes at?
It's in Central Oregon.
Central?
Yeah.
Central Oregon.
Yeah. That's a nice river.
Yeah.
Have you been on it?
Yeah, my dad's a guide on the Deschutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you been on it? Oh, wow. What company?
4 days.
Do you know what company you live with?
I was private.
Oh, just a group of
Private. Just one boat.
Well, this was a nice couple, and they were from up around the Tahoe area, I think, and they had done whitewater rafting before,
Oh,
right?
they were so nice. They were on my raft.
They were?
And they were so helpful to me, I can still hear them saying, "Keep your feet up." But they were charming people.
Wasn't she training to be a guide?
Yes, that's what she wanted to do. And like you said, she said that they have rafted in many, many places.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I think it's like the travel bug. Once you've been somewhere and you've done it and it bites you and you want to do it again. That's the same way with me, I think, with this whitewater rafting. I really want to do that
I think that's
again.
true in our own business here, Marv. We have so many people that keep going with us. They get a little taste of it, and then, oh man, that's fun. Where are you going next?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll tell you, we would like to go back to Costa Rica again. Of course, we probably wouldn't do some of the adventurous things that we did.
Not the river
Yeah,
rafting.
not the river rafting, unless you wanted to go ahead and do that, like on your own. Because we also, later on in the trip, Betty and I decided we'd be very adventuresome. And we decided that we would harness ourselves up, and then we hiked up 135 feet up into the canopy of the forest or the jungle and swing from tree to tree. Now that we really had to be totally out of our minds to do.
Yeah.
However, it was fun.
Reverting back to the monkeys, to our origin.
It really was great. But there's a lot of things that you can do there. I mean, Costa Rica has so much to offer besides the natural beauty. And of course, a lot of people go down there to bird watch. I mean, and some of them go in to watch some of the other animals. And of course, we've already seen in the last program we had, the butterflies and things. Hey, we're getting back now into Costa Rica. Well, we're in Costa Rica, but I should say into San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica. And we are arriving on the eve of the Independence Day. And you can just see the lights of the city sort of glittering as we come in because it sits in sort of a valley. We stayed at a very nice hotel here in San Jose. And as we got a little bit closer, we noticed that there were a lot of parties and things going on, and there were a lot of children that had these little lanterns that they had a little candle in them, and then they were cut out. And we'll see here just a minute, I think right over here. We can see some of the kids right here if you kind of look again through our, unfortunately, black and white pictures. However, there they are, and they're gathering there.
Well, the next day they had a big parade.
Oh wow!
Really big parade, and it went right by our hotel. Like, we're so lucky that happens often.
Yeah.
Well, often
we did.
Often as there are parades.
We've done that before. Remember in Scotland, we got to see the King and
yeah.
Queen of where was it? Norway, and also one of the princes of the royal family in England. And no, we've been very fortunate that way. I was so surprised when all of a sudden, we looked out the hotel and they were starting to form and get ready for the parade. And it's interesting too because all of the schools participate. The schools have like marching units, and it's a competitive thing in Costa Rica. And of course they're judged on that. They have drum corps, and I don't know, I guess some of them might have bugle corps too. But we'll see in just a little bit as the kids are lining up, and then they're getting ready for this big celebration.
You see, excuse me, Marv, but you can see how modern places in Costa Rica are. It's not a backward nation.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And look who's on the local television here. They do get the network, Eternal Word Television Network. In fact, they get some of the masses that we produce right here in Fresno, and they can see those every Sunday right there in Costa Rica.
Now that was in your room.
Yeah,
that
that was on the
cable.
Yeah,
on the cable in the room, and it's surprising when you turn something on like that and see what we have all the time.
Wouldn't it be surprising if of course, we were there on a Sunday. This was a Sunday, and we probably waited long enough, Betty. You probably would have seen yourself on the television reading for our mass.
Yeah, my sister saw me one time when she was in New York.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's very exciting to think we go so many places
well,
with
now
that.
to two-thirds of the world with our masses. And now the kids are lining up, as you can see. These are school children. They come from various schools, or colegios as called there, and they're getting ready for the parade. Now the parade, hey, look,
There's
a little bit of color.
It's
drying, yeah, not very well. Well, there it went, okay. Anyway, that's what I'm so sorry about, because these flags were so colorful, and the kids, their costumes were so colorful too. It was really interesting, and it was really a lot of fun. And there you can see some of the nuns. This must have been a parochial school, evidently. That see if we can read the sign there. The wind is blowing it just a little bit. Anyway, maybe we'll get a shot of it later on so we can take a look. But the kids were really celebrating. Everybody was in a festive mood that day. Betty, you mentioned something about Costa Rica. There we go. Maria College. Okay, there we go. And this is the auxiliary. Okay, San Jose. The Costa Rica is a very clean country. It is a very friendly country, and I think is a very forward-moving country. I was very impressed with the cleanliness, and also the wonderful thing, of course, which a lot of people like, is that so many of the people in Costa Rica speak English, and that was a big help. But it was an interesting story. Costa Rica didn't know for about a week that they had independence from Spain, because at the time, Costa Rica and Guatemala and that area, I don't know if any of Nicaragua was involved in that too, but the capital of that whole territory was up, I believe, in where Guatemala is now. Anyway, whenever they got their independence, it took about a week for the news to get down to San Jose. So they were independent for about a week or so, maybe longer. I've forgotten the story, but anyway, something like that for a while before they actually knew it. So it was something. But these kids, I love to see parades like this anyway, and it's so great to see the kids in the parade. And boy, they're taking this so seriously,
aren't they? But you can sure tell they practiced.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They didn't just go out there and march.
No, and there were lots and lots of schools. We just happened to be in one particular area here. I ran down from the hotel when I saw that. I was so excited to see all of these kids getting ready for the parade. And then we moved on down into another area, and then we went further on into town so that we could be literally on the sidewalk with the people that were parading. But this was really great to see, and especially that all the schools were really, really involved with this. Do we do this on 4th of July here?
We used to.
We don't do it that
Don't-
much anymore,
no,
right? You know,
People
that-
don't eat. I always put my flag out. I'm
I do
so
too.
proud.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
this. I think this. Look at how cute that is.
isn't that?
And
Look at
I
that.
mean, it's just precise.
It certainly is. As the caissons go marching along.
Yes, what it was. That's exactly.
Well, it's a good marching tune, I guess, isn't it? And look at the girls here. Oh, they're having a good time, but you can see the serious
I
look
was
on
going
their
to say that
face,
too.
you
It's
know.
supposed to be fun, but they
Yeah.
just they want to get it right.
There was a technical school, Don Bosco, and look at these little kids. They're just coming in to get into the parade route right here.
Great color, Marv.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful? Oh, this is what makes me so sick, because it was colorful. It was so
Was,
beautiful.
Really.
And wouldn't you know that would happen, but just my luck. Anyway.
That's fine. I think it looks very, very good and interesting.
Well, it was interesting.
Sure.
I just wish I could, share the excitement of the color with the with our viewers. But these schools we're talking to our guides that most of the schools there, I think, were participating in this. And like you say, they do, Betty. They have time to practice, and they really take this very, very seriously. And it's probably competitive too, I would suspect.
I don't know. You mean like giving prizes like
Oh, yeah.
we do here?
Yeah,
The best band, the best this, the best
Right,
that.
best marchers, whatever.
There's 1916, Marv. So.
Okay. That's a little before my time. But here you can see this banner of Costa Rica, right here, the country, and you see the flag, which does have its color on it, and you see the Pacific Ocean on one side and the Atlantic on the other. And oh, look at this. Here we go. These kids are just marvelous, aren't they?
They're so little. Oh, and I just admire the people that trained them.
Bonaventure
you know.
School.
It's-
Oh yes, and and there's a few. Look, here's some of the mothers there.
Oh,
Yeah. Just like you're going to find anywhere. Now hold that up a little bit better over here. Now you've got to look at
Yeah, that might be the teacher.
teacher or
Huh?
mom, or
Yeah,
I'm
well.
not sure, but anyway, you'll always find that in a parade, no matter where you go. And again, there's another group of flag bearers back there. Aren't these kids
Yeah,
beautiful? Aren't they just
gorgeous.
great? They really are, and they're having a
Yeah,
having a
see,
good
she's
time.
serious
Oh
too.
yeah, white gloves and I mean, they gotta take this
There's
really,
not
really
a
seriously.
Smile. Well, look at they're telling them now. Hold it up.
See, that's what I tell you. Like the stage mother, huh?
Yes.
Now we have the parade mother, I
What's
think,
that?
today.
What does that say?
Ex-alumni,
Well,
I
what's
think that's how it's
ex-alum?
referred to as alumni,
Well,
It's,
those are too young to be alumni.
no, I think these are the alumni right here.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I think they're marching
they're
in the parade.
marching in the. Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you. I thought.
You're welcome.
I didn't know little kids could be an alumni of what? Of kindergarten?
Well, that's always possible. And these kids here, as we say, with the flag bearer, here's a whole group of them here. Look at the braids there on the shoulder and stuff, and they're just again, boy, having a great time. Look at that. We're going to listen in just a little bit as the little tiny kids come along, and they're all having a good time. And I think the spectators, now this is right in the middle of town, the street that we happen to be on right now, and there's a little market. If we were to take a look off to our left, a little kind of a native market there, and then off to our right is a big, beautiful museum. And Costa Rica has some very, very fine examples, I think, of the colonial period architecture. And we're going to see a little bit. But
Oh, there
look at
they
here.
are. Look
Here
at
they are. Aren't they marvelous? Let's listen just a little bit as these kids are doing their stuff on Independence Day. those colors were really magnificent. Too bad we couldn't see them. The kids were all dressed in yellow and white. They were having a good time. Now this was the museum here, and this really had some great exhibitions inside of it.
Was that a home at one time?
It looked to me like like it had been a palace,
Yes,
you know.
uh-huh.
And there's big, beautiful courtyard, of course, inside. If you do go to Costa Rica, you do go to San Jose, make sure that you do see that particular museum. You know, Betty, we were talking about Independence Day. In fact, that it was September 15th, and that was their 175th anniversary of independence from Spain. And it was interesting because, you know, most of the Latin American countries, when they got their independence from Spain, had a lot of bloodshed and a lot of pain and a lot of violence. But because their independence came so quietly by mail, you know, several weeks later from Guatemala, it was a different thing. And it's interesting, too, because Costa Rica does not have an army. No. And here it sits between Nicaragua and Panama, two countries that have had, you know, some problems. Yes, and there sits Costa Rica. There are a lot of Americans that have retired in Costa Rica, and there is an English language newspaper. Oh, this was kind of pretty. Right here on the roadside, there was this little chapel. Very, very pretty. Just right there.
Out of nowhere, there comes the church chapel. Yeah.
And of course, another river.
We got a
bit of color. How about that? And we're going through a lot of these little villages. Tourism, of course, is the #1 industry in Costa Rica. But do you know what the other industry would be?
No, Marv. Tell me, what is the other industry?
Do you think it would be coffee, or do you think it would be bananas?
I would think it would be bananas.
You're right.
Oh, what do I win?
You win a Chiquita banana. We're going to head over to the coast right now. That's what we see, this beautiful black and white. It was, a little bit of color, These are the ox carts there, and there is a real one. They sell these as little souvenirs. I mean, the little tiny ones, not like this, but we do get just a flash of color right here, Betty. As we see, they are highly decorated. They're quite beautiful.
There it is.
Just a flash of color.
Of course, they sell those in Sarchi. That's where the tourists all go.
Where the tourists go?
From the boats, yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Now we're over on the coast now, and we're going to take a look here where most of the tour boats come in on the Pacific side. I imagine some go in on the Atlantic side to Limon, which is a port city there. But Port Caldera here, and that's right over where you see that boat right there. I believe that's where the cruise ships come in. Now, you have done that before, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've come in on a cruise ship.
Yes, and we did Limon.
Well, Limon's on the other side.
We did. What did we did?
What did we did? Well, that's
No?
that's Caldera where we were, and now this is another little village where we are here on the coast. And as we say, they go in two different places depending on what Caribbean or what. No, it wouldn't be Caribbean. Part of it would be though I'm trying to think of Panama Canal. That's
Canal,
what it is. Yeah.
But you see all the people out there in the water. The water was warm.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Yes.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, we will have another adventure in glorious black and white, show you some of the other things that we saw in Costa Rica. But if you're interested in any of the trips that we do have coming up, and Betty has a lot of them, believe me, a lot of things we've just put together, just give her a call at 488-7443. Time for us to say goodbye. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.